All right, so I'm live and we're trying some. Let me turn some down my volume and stuff here on other things. But yeah, whoops, here we go. Doodaloo. All right, cool. I'll wait a couple minutes here to see who else shows up, and then we'll go from there. And there is a link for Riverside if you want to chat on that as well. So, but hey, cool thing is I'm back, and you can hopefully use the chat here. So, oh man, oh man. And for those listening, we will be wrapping this up at the 30-minute mark because everybody's got other shit to do than listen to me. So, and we're going to talk about the 10 ring award winners. We're going to talk about the stuff in the market, and we're going to move fast because there's a lot to cover. I'll start out with the RSA wrap up. And then I'll also tell you about the vendor that is targeting people who say things that they don't like. We'll get into that. All right. Let me just double check here that everything is hopefully where it's supposed to be. We're going like into the rabbit hole, into the rabbit hole, into the rabbit hole repeatedly. All right. Anyway, let me close that down. All right. So let's talk about the RSA show number one. RSA was, I would say, interesting overall. Um, I would say it was, we've hit kind of peak shenanigans. I counted at least three times walking through the floor where there was some executive, I think, at a company that was like jumping over obstacles as people were throwing shit at them. And yeah, it was very interesting to see how that was coming together. There was there was robot dogs, which I'll talk about that in a second. There was goats. There was puppies, which I felt bad for the puppies because there was a lot of people handling them, and a lot of people don't know how to handle puppies. And I love dogs, so it was just kind of uncomfortable for me to watch that. But you know, what are you going to do? And the swag was not as awesome as years prior. I didn't collect anything. I think I got two T-shirts from vendors that just gave me shirts, but other than that, I didn't see anything that was really amazing. So, on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being super awesome, couldn't live without it type RSA, one being I would rather go to a nearsighted urologist. I would say it was in like a four, maybe. Um, I don't know about you folks, but I walked nearly 50 miles by the time I've been there, and I have to throw in about 7 or 8 of those miles was playing golf on Sunday, so that kind of all added up. But it was in San Francisco, so anyway. Um, so yeah, RSA was interesting. I was lucky enough to speak again. Thank you, committee, for that. But on the grand scheme of like value out of it, pretty minimal, I think. All right, so let me tell you about the vendor that is targeting people that tell the truth. Now, I have to be super careful here because they made it very clear to me that if I said anything about them in particular, that I would be in deep doo-doo with this vendor. It was it was it was a threat, to be perfectly frank. I can't say their name because they told me I would be sued and that they would, and I'm quoting here, end my career. Which they also referenced the fact that they had already made an impact on my career by flexing on a company that I was doing some work with before G2, and then getting them to kind of punt on me. So, without saying their name, let's just say that they have a lot of clout in the space. They are publicly traded. They have been involved in some major league incidents, and how else can I put this? They are an endpointy sort of security company, um, and they have lots of, I don't know, stupid character names they give ransomware groups. I'll just leave it there. You figure it out for yourself. Now, fast forward to RSA. I'm walking around minding my own business and just looking around and doing the 10 ring app stuff and whatever else. And these three individuals from said company come up and they're wearing their gear. So they were either them or they stole their shit and were, I don't know, masquerading as them, came up to me. And one person who I had to do a little bit of recon on after this incident, who is an executive at the firm on their sales and go-to-market side, said in no unclear terms that I needed to be careful what I say, that they were unhappy with my views of their position in the market, and that they would, quote, end my career if I wasn't careful. Now, that is what I would call a threat. And then one of the other peons who happened to be along with this particular executive made the comment that was interesting too about, we've already shown you what we can do type of thing, which is a reference to the issue that I had of being unceremoniously vaulted out of G2, which is a leadership issue at G2 as well. Fuck you, Tim Sanders. Anyway, following on from there. So yeah. So, and this vendor at the same time, the same day, actually, a very dear friend of mine, someone who I respect very much, who I can't say his name either, because I don't have his approval to do that, was also, he used some of my slides at one of the presentations that he did recently from a prior presentation that included this vendor's name in it. And at that event, representatives from that vendor took it upon themselves to get up in the middle of his speech and leave. And then they contacted his leadership and basically forced him to sit through a pseudo apology session with their executives at RSA in one of their suites, because of the fact that he was using those slides. Now, everything that I put into a slide, everything that I put into a paper, everything I put into a blog, I spend a lot of time researching. I never put anything out there that I cannot defend. I put my references in my work. I stand on the data and the analysis that I do. I will die on that hill. So for this vendor to be so perturbed that one chode like me is out there basically just doing analysis and putting things out into the market speaks volumes about the actual value of that vendor. It also speaks volumes about the people that work at that particular vendor that are willing to threaten folks that basically do fact-based analysis. So again, I wish I could tell you their name. You have to do a little bit of educated guessing here, but you could pretty much figure out who they are. Wink. And my advice would be very cautious dealing with this particular vendor. Be very cautious interacting with them. I think that their software is sketchy AF, and it's been proven to be sketchy AF. So make your own decisions, but know that there is a vendor that is out there that is targeting people that just do analysis and tell the truth based on data because they don't like the way that that data makes them look. Fucking scary. And they're willing to threaten someone, potentially physically, I guess, although it wouldn't have worked out well for them versus me. I was actually thinking like, cool, I mean, I've had a shitty day. Like I'm willing to fuck somebody up. But they weren't willing to, engage. It was just these veiled threats and whatever else. So that's that app. And let me give you some data here, because again, data is where truth lies. Just so people can understand how the scoring went here and what is the outcome from that particular event. Let me make sure that I have the right information. If I can figure out where the hell I put it, because that's just what getting old looks like. Here we go. Okay, so let me tell you the way that the 10 Ring app worked. The way that it worked was I opened it up on the Monday that RSA started, right at 5 o'clock, which was when the gates kind of opened. Now, that honestly was a learning point for me, because not a lot of people did shit with the app for the first day and a half. Because why? They were so inundated with all the stuff on the floor. Everybody's got stuff to do. The only persons that were scoring it was myself and a few others. Now, the majority of the reviews came in on the later part of the second to last day and a lot on the last day, which is also good to know. So next time that I do this, maybe I do it for Blackout or DEF CON, although someone would probably hack the app and whatever. Next time that I do this, I'll basically sort of throttle the release of it to make sure that we match it where time is the most effective use. On top of that, what I also noticed was that there are vendors who immediately try and game the system. But I'm smart, and I had my little algorithm running in the back that would look at who was doing what and would post stuff in a certain manner of time, and then they got kind of dinged for it. And I also made sure that me personally, if I had a interest or a contract or something with a vendor or whatever, I didn't review them and I didn't post their stuff. Because that's sketchy. So what I wound up with, and the reviews came through pretty quick once they started rolling. So that's good. Now, who are the winners and why? Okay, well, the winners, and I'm glad to provide the data to people that want it. The vendors are going to have to figure out how to work with me to get the data. Number one in the 10 Ring actually was Audit Board. Audit Board did a really good job with what they were talking about. They had great people on staff. I'll share the criteria for this stuff that we're doing things, but they got grilled and they came through with really solid responses and analysis. There were kind of, it wasn't beat to death on the buzzwording stuff. They understood their applicability to ZT. So Audit Board, you hit the 10 Ring. Now, another thing to know about a 10 Ring is it's not just dead center, right? You're close to the 10 Ring. So you're touching the 10 Ring. Lumu, Lumu was in there as well, was in the 10 Ring. Lumu, I think what really put them over the top was they were doing live demos. They had people that were very knowledgeable about the software, very knowledgeable about the product. They're all well engaged, and it helped them a lot to have the draw of the reviews with the robot dog. So the marketing team there did a great thing of bringing that in, because it was super cool. And a lot of people came by, and a lot of people did their 10 Ring thing. Kiteworks, you guys hit the 10 Ring as well. Kiteworks was interesting because I thought they were getting dinged relatively heavily on the buzzword stuff, but they had the balls, I guess you could say, to go off and call themselves the GOAT, and they had actual fucking goats, which drove attendance, which drove people to look and then post reviews and whatever else. So Kiteworks, well done. I would say that they are, but Kiteworks was very solid. Forescout, Reality Defender, Asterix, and NetArcs are the ones that also hit the 10 Ring. So there you go. So that's your 10 Ring winners for RSA. I have the data. I'm glad to share it with people on that particular front. But there you go. That's kind of how it played out and how it worked. So, cool stuff. Hooray, huzzah. Go forward from there. And like I say, they'll get a link to use the badge if they want to. I've got the data and analysis and everything else, and I'm glad to provide them. And we can go forward and go from there. But for the people that bitch about, the vendors and the analysts and all those other games, whatever, I think that this method and application was pretty solid. And the math that I had running on the back end was good at ferreting out BS. And 100 reviews, 100 reviewers was pretty solid on the floor. I'd love to see it be 1,000 since there was 60,000 people there, but hey, I'll take what I can get. It's a start. Is it as big as Gartner Peer Insights? No, but I can promise you there's not the influence side of that thing here. So there you go. So vendors, if you hear this, contact me. I'll give you the badge. You can put it on your site and say how amazing you are. And then we'll figure out where we go next. Black Hat, maybe. DEF CON, maybe. Somebody would probably fucking hack the app, which causes other problems. But I don't know. I'm open to other things too. Maybe I start doing this as part of a report or a review process there as well. But, here we go. So, and someone is asking me about where the show is. There's a YouTube link. You just click the YouTube link. That's what I did, and it worked just fine for me. So, yeah. Okay, cool. Let's move on into the news. So we want to cover this stuff here as well. All right, cool. This is a good report from Gartner, which normally I beat them up, but this one's actually pretty solid. So 61% of security leaders reported suffering a breach due to failed or misconfigured controls over the past 12 months. And that's the ones that reported. This is despite having an average of 43 cybersecurity tools in space. Let me say that again, 43, and that's a lot of management. The massive rate of security failure is clearly not a security investment problem, agreed. It is a configuration problem, billion% agreed. Organizations are beginning to understand that a security control installed or deployed is not necessarily a security control configured. That's a great point. The recent Gartner report, which is titled Reduce Threat Exposure with Security Controls Optimization, addresses the gap between intention and outcome. So that's interesting. So the article goes deeper. So the myth of tool coverage. Buying more tools has long been considered the key to cybersecurity performance. We call that expense in depth. Thank you, Rick Holland. Yet the facts tell a different story. According to the Gartner report, misconfiguration of technical security controls is a leading cause for continued success of attacks. Many organizations have impressive inventories of firewalls, endpoint solutions, SIEMs, and other shit. Yet breaches continue because these tools are often misconfigured, poorly integrated, or disconnected from business risk. Yep. For example, the 2024 breach at Blue Shield of California, a website misconfiguration led to personal data from 4.7 million people leaking via Google Ads, making the organizational continuous optimizations the new normal. Okay, great. Building for effectiveness, blah, blah, bottom line. So, and this is Gartner's opinion. In our opinion, the new research from Gartner makes the message clear. Static defenses will not keep pace with dynamic risks. Yes, duh. We've been saying it for a while. Organizations that embrace continuous optimization, tuning controls, validating performance, and aligning security with business priorities will be the ones that stay resilient. So there you have it. Yeah. Don't know how to say it any clearer than that. And that is from Gartner. So, there you go. Gartner. Gartner says it. Huzzah, hooray. Moving on. SonicWall patches 3 flaws in SMA 100 devices, allowing attackers as root. Root is not good. Root is no bueno. SonicWall has released patches. So there's patches. So don't suck at patches. Go get your thing and patch the patch to address 3 security flaws affecting SMA 100 security mobile access appliances that could be fashioned to result in remote code execution. RCE is a bad thing. Root is a bad thing. Go patch your shit. The vulnerabilities are listed below: 32.819, 32.820, 32.821. The most egregious has a security score of CVSS 8.8. An attacker with access to an SMA SSL VPN. Oh, there's that word again that we've heard so many times, VPN, or those not really words, but letters that are from words, but you get what I'm saying. User account can chain those vulnerabilities to make a sensitive system directory writable, elevate their privileges to administrator, and write an executable file to system directory, Rapid7 said in the report. This chain results in root level remote code execution. Cool. You know what? Because I haven't done it in a while, because I was building an app and stuff like that, I want to see how many of these things there are out there on the old internet. And I'm going to do a Shodan search for that. So let's just see, because it's always best to do this stuff live, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I have to move some stuff around. Okay, cool. Log me in. All right. Now let's do this. Let's see if we get any results. Ooh, yes, we did. All right. Let's see. In the United States, I found 4. Ooh. All right. Cedar Knolls, Clifton, Dallas, and North Bergen. Dallas, let's see. Application, not good. Yeah. So let's see what the organizations are. Okay, so service providers, I think. Let's just, for the sake of it, look at SonicWall and then do a little digging from there, because why not? Okay, globally there's about 500,000, but a lot of those are probably, yeah, we'll just leave that alone. And all right, top products. There we go. SSL VPN proxy. Let's look at which products have got the most issues here. SonicWall Inc. Ivanti has got its thing in there. Cool. I'm just going to go look at the VPN because that's the one that's probably 2,740 in the US. And let's see what we find on SonicWall Virtual Office stuff. Any companies that are super interesting here? Not a whole lot, but let's see. Telephone System, Southern New England Telephone, Telex, Airstream, data centers, nursing. That's not good. That's probably medical. Actually, let's just look at that one. And again, everything I'm doing here is legal. So yes, so nursing with that SonicWall VPN misconfiguration, virtual office. Yeah. Town, TOWNE. Yeah, they are all kinds of jacked up. So there you go. That's how long it takes to find vulnerable systems. Wah wah. Couple of others. All right. I put this out this morning, and this is in Cybersecurity Dive. So CrowdStrike to cut 500 jobs and plan to scale business. So they're going to get rid of people so they can scale. The cybersecurity firm has faced increasing market pressures amid a scramble by rivals to consolidate customers on unified platforms. CrowdStrike said Wednesday that it would cut 500 jobs, or 5% of its global workforce, as part of a plan to scale its business and meet a goal of $10 billion in annual recurring revenue. In a memo attached to an SEC filing, I have the actual thing here, CEO George Kurtz told employees that the company would continue to prudently hire in customer-facing product engineering roles, but had to make changes in order to operate more efficiently. This is the AI thing. And continue its leadership in the marketplace. And here's a quote. We're operating in a market and technology inflection point with AI reshaping everyday industry, accelerating threats and evolving customer needs, Kurtz said in the memo. To lead at scale, we, with nearly 10,000 CrowdStrikers, I guess that's what they call you, and a clear path to 10 billion in ARR, we are evolving how we operate. We are fucking firing people. Kurtz cited 3 factors in the decision. AI investments are accelerating execution efficiency and are flattening the company's hiring curve. Market demand is driving sustained growth of the company, and the company is scaling its go-to-market and customer success teams as more customers are standardizing on the Falcon platform. Let's see. Kurtz acknowledged that the cuts would be difficult. I always love when I hear this because CEOs always so difficult, and we value our employees and whatever. They're not coming to your house. They're not helping you out. They're just like, fuck it. Here's your severance. Go. He said that company offices would be closed on Wednesday and Thursday with employees working from home. Let's see. First quarter. They will complete the job cuts by the end of the second quarter, so coming this summer to a theater near you. I think the move signals to everyone that cybersecurity is not immune to the economic volatility every industry is dealing with, said Jeff Pollard, who's a super smart guy and one of my best friends. He is a vice president of Forrester, so smart guy. But yeah, there you go. AI won't take anyone's jobs except for 500 people, except for 5% of the workforce, except for the people that we're going to lay off. And then, I'm just like, I admit, like, I'm jaded from dealing with these types of executive folks that make these decisions. But the fact when they say it will be super difficult to make these decisions, whatever else, like, remember, folks, that you're working for people because they make money off of your labor. They don't care about you at the scale that you hope they care about you. They will toss you out because they can, because it makes them more money. Industrial Cyber has an article, Massimo, which wasn't that a t-shirt company when I was a kid? Like, I think I remember those. Anyway, Massimo faces operational disruption after cybersecurity breach triggers law enforcement coordination. Uh-oh. Medical technology company Massimo Corporation disclosed that it experienced unauthorized activity on its on-premise network affecting manufacturing operations. So this is manufacturing side. The cyber breach identified on April 27th, which today is May 8th, prompted the company to activate its incident response protocols, including isolating affected systems. Okay. As a result of the incident, some of Massimo's manufacturing facilities have been operating below normal capacity, temporarily affecting the company's ability to process, fulfill, and ship customer orders. The Irvine-based California company believes its cloud-based systems remain unaffected. Stand by for that to change. Massimo cautioned that the incident could lead to legal, reputational, and financial risks, including potential regulatory inquiries. They offer advanced monitoring technologies and patient monitors and grown a publicly traded company. Oh, by the breach, folks. There you go. Oh, I'm going to go look at their stock in just a second. Hang on. Let's go see what their stock says. Let's go see Massimo. What is their stock? What is their stock? There we go. Massimo stock price. 157.28. All right. So here's my buy the breach thing that I'll tell you. Give it 90 days, 70, something like that, and then buy, and then ride it on the far end, and then get the bounce and go from there. So I will do this just like I tell everybody else to. It's pretty much a guarantee you're going to make money. I'm not a licensed person. I'm not even a smart person or good looking, but I'm just telling you that the data and the reality of what's going on here are very, very clear. They're down anyway. So good time to buy. If you look at their 5 years, yeah, they're down. Their highest they've ever been was almost 300 a share. So buy the breach, buy the breach, buy the breach. Make that money because Lord knows they will. CISA, FBI warns of unsophisticated hackers targeting industrial systems. Well, duh, I'm unsophisticated, and I've been on here for 5 years now on this podcast doing stuff on Shodan that show just how unsophisticated and uncouth I am, and anyone could do this stuff. Federal authorities, including EPA and US DOE, or Department of Energy, urge network defenders to secure remote access and use stronger passwords. Holy fucking donkey balls. This is what we're telling people. The FBI and CISA warned of unsophisticated threat actors targeting ICS and operational technology environments. The guidance, co-authored by the US DOE and the EPA, said the threat activity targeted critical infrastructure. The agencies urged security leaders to use better cyber hygiene and protect assets exposed to the internet. Fuck. While it's not clear what these incidents led to the advisory, similar prior warnings in recent years, the agencies advised 3 major security improvements. This should be comical. Removing OT connections from the public internet. Jesus Christ. Immediately changing default passwords. Oh my, yeah, okay. Securing remote access. Wow. Anyway, that's what we're telling people. That's your tax dollars at work. There are billions of dollars to tell people the basic shit we've been telling them for a long, long time. Hooray, huzzah. Yeah. All right. Well, it's almost 1:30. You got other stuff to do. I got other things to do. I'm gainfully unemployed, which is actually a thing. But hey, I'm writing lots of books because writing books is fun and no one reads them, but I like writing. So anyway, if I saw you at RSA, glad to see you. If I didn't see you and you missed me, then I'm sorry, and I'd love to catch up. Maybe you're coming out here for Gartner stuff next month. If you are, let me know because I'm going to put a round of golf together for people. So, and we're going to donate some money to charity, I hope. So we'll see where it goes from that. And 10 ring winners, congratulations. More coming your way. The 10 ring thing is going to evolve, but you got to start somewhere. So it's a start. Um, if I can help, please reach out to me. As always, stay smart, stay safe, stay secure. I will catch you on the next one.